I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 256, Cooking and Food. It would be very short, maybe we're going to do traditional foods as well. Cooking and food and traditional foods or something like that, while doing a little bit sitting yoga or yoga on the ground. And if you participate in the little yoga exercises, that is at your own risk. Cooking and food. Many people in the UK enjoy cooking. They're giving us a lot of activities to do. So we have something which you can do if you want to do something. So many people in the UK enjoy cooking. I'm going to explain what cooking is, but I think we know what cooking is. They often invite each other to their homes for dinner. There are activities which people are doing which are normally not listed anywhere. Normally people would not say that they like to care for their garden or invite other people over for dinner. Many people in the UK enjoy cooking and they often invite each other to their homes for dinner. So that means 1, 2, 3 persons maybe could help, and not one person has to do it all alone. But the person of one home, they are cooking, and then they're coming a few friends over, and then they're eating there. Maybe they're bringing some gifts in exchange, and the next week or something they meet at another house, and then they're cooking there. But there are certainly other types of how to do it. They often invite each other to their homes for dinner, and that is. Do we do traditional foods in the same part? At the end we have to learn really where we should do them in detail. Let's start with a little bit yoga. So we are already here sitting like that. We are tall up with the back. And yes, we're firstly sitting just tall up. And now we're breathing in. And out, and we're leaning in front, and we're opening the chest to the sky. And breathe again in, come into the middle. And out, and lean again back. Go first and back. And lean in, breathe in, come into the middle. And out again in front. Breathe again in, into the middle. And out and lean back. And now round, breathe in, into the middle. And out, lean in front. And breathe in. And now doing some circles. We go to the side and in front of chest to the sky when you are in front. The other side. And hollow the back when you go back. And breathe in when you come in front. Breathe in. And out when you are back. And get in and in front. And back and make a short back. And another time in. Now we're changing the direction. We go over to the other side. And back, round back behind. To the side. In front, chest, out, and again. In and make a round back, and the last round in front and back. Now coming again tall up, and we're going to read a bit on what we have here. So we often invite each other over for dinner, and there's a variety of food is eaten in the UK. We're not eating all the same, we're eating a variety, we're eating different things. I would even go so far to say we have a word rich. We're eating very varied and rich food. So, a wide variety of food is eaten in the UK because of the country's rich cultural heritage and diverse population. That's not the only reason. Also, the people in Britain have multiple different foods, but there's another reason why the food in Britain is even more richer and diverse. That is because in the country of Britain there are many people living who have or had previously a different cultural background. So because of the country's rich cultural heritage and diverse population in Britain, there are many people living who were not born in the United Kingdom or whose parents, grandparents, or great-great-great-grandparents were not born in the United Kingdom. So that's that. In Britain there are many different things eaten. The people enjoy to cook, and they often or sometimes invite their friends over to come to eat by them. And the next week we're changing maybe. Now we're having traditional foods There are a variety of foods that are traditionally associated with different parts of the UK. Okay, two things. The red rose is associated with England. The daffodil is associated with Wales. The shamrock is associated with Ireland, and the thistle is associated with Scotland. And at Christmas, the people eating Christmas pie, mince pies, Christmas pudding, and roasted turkey. At Easter, we're giving it about roasted chocolate. On Shrove Tuesday, we're eating pancakes out of fat milk and whatever. But I think but there's certainly something else. How about flour? And but that can be eaten maybe during the Lent. And more or less that was it. And when we're gonna come in a moment to the variety of foods that are traditionally associated with different parts of the UK. But first a little bit more yoga. You're sitting taller. And we're breathing in, we're taking one arm over, and we're breathing out, and we're going to the side. And we're breathing again in, we're coming up, and out we're going to the other side. And breathe again in a minute, and out over to the other side. We're going to actually split it here, I think, with cooking your food and traditional food. We're going to eat the second part. And again in, and the last time to the other side. And we're breathing in, we're coming back into the middle. Now we're going into tabletop. Sound to tabletop. And the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips, basically. We're taking the one hand into the middle in front. And we're going in, over, and we're leaning onto the shoulder. And we just keep lying here a little. And we're coming back into the middle. And we're changing to the other side. We're breathing in. And out. There we go. To the other side. And we're coming back into the middle. Now we're going to the downward facing dog. So, like that. And try to make a straight back. Down. And let's bend the right knee. And stretch only the left leg. And change to the other side. And again change. And another time. Now we're coming for a moment up onto tiptoes. Try to make a straight back and lean back. And again down to the downward facing dog. And we're going down to tabletop. And we're going back. We're going to do that one yoga exercise. And we're coming back. And we are doing the marble, bending one leg, stretching only the left leg. Breathe again in and change. And out, stretch only the right leg. Again in and change, and out to the other side. Breathe again in, both legs straight. We're doing the penguin. Breathing in, lifting the right arm to the sky, looking over the right shoulder to the right hand, bending the left knee. And breathe in, bring again, all in. Out and down, both legs again straight. Breathing in, and the other arm comes up, looking up to the hand and the bending the right knee. We're breathing in, taking all again back in. And we're breathing and we're coming up into monkey half, straight back halfway up. And out again down. Again breathe in, come into monkey half lift. And out and down. Now wander forward with the hands, back to the downward facing dog. And to tabletop. And into child's pose. Just sit on the legs. Yes. And basically, we don't have a proper ending. That's it. So we're going to make a second part for the traditional food. So it is just here now cooking and food. There we have now that many people in the UK enjoy cooking, that they often invite each other over for dinner, and that there is a very wide variety of food eaten. That is partly because many people in the United Kingdom have a different cultural heritage, and the population of the United Kingdom is diverse. Now there's something else. I came across someone talking about the Bessemer process, and now I know what it is. I don't know exactly, it wasn't detailed, it was a bit fast and I didn't understand all words. But first of all, Bessemer was a person. So it's named after a person, the Bessemer process. Bessemer was a person living in 1820 or something like that. And it has something to do with steel. We know so far that it has something to do with steel making and metal and so on. Now the thing is, steel is made out of iron. And inside of iron there is carbon. I couldn't understand how it gets in there. It is either as in the material of which steel is, or it is in the coal, and with the coal there's the steel heated. Or something like that. For some reason there's carbon inside of steel. And now if a blacksmith is hammering the whole time onto the metal, I don't know if it's iron or steel at that point, onto the metal the whole time, then the carbon gets out. So inside of its steel there's carbon. And now if a blacksmith hammers the whole time onto the carbon gets out of the steel. That makes sense, like if you wring out the towel. And so the blacksmith is hammering the hammer the whole time onto the metal, and through that the carbon gets out. And when the carbon is out, then you can bend the metal without that it breaks. It is heated. That is the first important thing. But there's carbon in it, and through the banging, the carbon comes out of it, and then you can bend it and form the metal. It has to be hot also, into the forms. And the Bessemer process is now a little bit better. But the Bessemer process, there was something, the person said something about, it is heated, the metal, so that it gets fluid. So around 1800, or was it 800? Around 1000 degrees, then metal gets like water, it gets fluid. And when the metal is a fluid, then there is, I don't get it, oxygen blown through it. But at least we understand what the Bessemer process is. So there's oxygen, so that is in the air, that is, I don't really get it. Oxygen is blown through the metal, the hot and metal, something like that. But at least we know what the Bessemer process is. We don't really understand it like that. So oxygen is blown through it, and through that the whole carbon is coming out. If you have bang on it, a lot of carbon comes out, but not all. Now the Bessemer process is even better, where all the carbon comes out, completely. And now you have just the steel, or just the iron. And then you make the forms out of it, what do you want? And then, not then, first, and then you add again carbon. So you take the whole carbon out with the Bessemer process of blowing oxygen through it, and then you put carbon again in it, but only as much as you desire. So normally, naturally, there would, let's say, 2% carbon in it, but that's not really what we want. It's just randomly. If you hammer on it, we can make what we want, but it's a problem because it's just whatever it is. And now if we take it completely out and put in as much as we want, we can make that type of steel which we want with the exact proportions which we want. So we're taking the Bessemer process is taking the complete carbon out by blowing oxygen through the heated iron, and then after that there's so much carbon added as we want carbon to be in it. If you take 0.1% carbon in it, that steel is then perfectly for that and that. If you do 0.5% carbon in it, it is perfect for bridges. If you take 1% in it, might be perfect for spoons and forks. So that is basically the idea. The Bessemer process is taking the whole carbon out of the steel, out of the iron, and then putting so much again into it as we want it, because when it has different proportions, I don't know the word right, it has been different abilities. So the Bessemer process, we're blowing oxygen through heated iron that removes the carbon, and then we add so much carbon as we want in that type of steel. And now we can create different types of steels, and have for all the things where we need steel for, maybe for rockets, for bridges, for spoons, or whatever we just need, the type of iron with carbon in it as we want it. We can completely control it. So Bessemer process, blowing oxygen through heated iron, but we remove the carbon, and when we're adding so much carbon as we want. That is the Bessemer process. I thank you very much, and until next time.